Yeah, my name is Maria Quintin. I'm a 29-year-old white woman with sandy-colored hair and blue eyes. I'm a printmaker with my own studio, a specialist print technician. I'm a researcher. I specialize in researching alternate print materials with the aim to scale to industry and circular manufacturing. I'm a part-time screen editioner for Stanley Donwood, who does all the artwork for Radiohead. And as you said, I also restore printing presses and equipment, including most of the stuff in my own studio, as well as for local museums. As you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about every aspect of printmaking, so it may not come as a huge surprise that I've made what some might call the brave decision to found a museum of print. But why Bristol? Bristol has a massive print history that nobody knows about and nobody talks about, even in academia. It was the first city to legally be allowed a printing press outside of London, making it a pioneer of printing local newspapers and periodicals. As far as I'm aware, print is still the second largest employer after the tobacco industry, much of that relating to the tobacco industry, so printing, advertising, and packaging for tobacco. The print industry also shaped a lot of the city's development, particularly its architecture. Bristol's first skyscraper was built as the headquarters for the Robinson Printing um, Company. And then this prompted their rival Everard to build this mosaical masterpiece. Huge areas of the city were built to specifically house printing facilities, and a lot of those are still present today, although used for other things. Print also massively shaped the city's political past and present. For those of you who don't know, this is the infamous Colston statue, which made waves internationally when it was toppled as part of the Black Lives Matters movement. Most people don't know is that it was commissioned by one of the most infamous print moguls, Mr. Robinson himself, who actually invented printing advertising onto paper bags, which was another Bristol invention. So why a print museum? I get this question a lot. Bristol used to have an industrial museum, which had lots of interactive exhibits, including a fully functioning working print shop that actually had an original Robinson's bag printing maker and press. And they actually used to use that to print all of their bags for their shop, as well as other equipment that they owned to print all of their event advertising and ephemera. When it became the M Shed, it focused more on the city's social history, which is great. It showcased a lot of the citizens' kind of lost stories, women's history, and the true nature, and the impact of the slave trade on the city. If you're ever in Bristol, I do encourage you to go and check it out. It's also now the reluctant home of the Colson statue, with the head curator speaking about the difficulties of this at the 2024 Museums Conference. I tell you all of this because despite their staff's passion to reintroduce their working exhibits, it's not the aims of the current local government who owns the museum, and therefore there is a gaping need in Bristol to fill here. This is just a couple of the things that I've done with the museum um, to try and restore this. It's also the restrictions felt by the museum staff and volunteers like myself, along with the current funding and social political threats that really pushed me to try and show that there must be a better way to do this. So I've come up with a plan that rejects everything that museums currently do, something I consider a broken system, and I've broken this down into three steadfast goals for my museum. One, tracing heritage and inspiring the future. Two, print isn't dead. And three, a conscious core. Let me break this down for you a little bit now. So, tracing heritage and inspiring the future. I want my museum to be, at the very least, a museum, a space for teaching about all of Bristol's rich print history, but also about its future. I'm looking to have a kind of open archive system and a public library, a welcoming space that utilizes inclusive spatial grammar to encourage all to participate. Unlike the current museum systems, which feel unwelcoming to non-academics, even though those collections are publicly owned. This leads me on to Print Isn't Dead, which I'm sure most of you know. Um, so art for science and industry. Bristol is home to one of the world's only research centers focusing solely on the applications for traditional printmaking methods for new technologies, pioneering pigment, tiny technologies. After all, your phone is only that small because of developments in etching, screen print lithography. I also want to reinvigorate that link between industry and art. Did you know that art used to be considered a science and was a necessity for, engineers and architects? Um, I'm hoping to create links of local industries and offer training and skills opportunities for local young people, among other projects. And to use this as a revenue income stream as well. And finally, a conscious core, accessibility and sustainability built into every experience. As a neurodivergent dyslexic with two sleep disorders and a bunch of allergies and sensitivities, I am disabled in many ways, but none of them are traditionally covered by accessibility, although there's a massive movement, especially in the museums industry, to change this. I also never understood why, with environmental strains at tipping point, all new projects and builds aren't done with sustainability first and foremost. They're always shoehorned in as an afterthought, and I think this is stupid and should change. I am on a one-woman mission to prove that you can create sustainable, accessible spaces that are not only beautiful and functional, but also save you money. I mentioned my research into alternate materials with the aims to scale this to industry, and I fully intend to prove that it's possible to implement things like a circular economies, which would not only put us on the map, but would provide my museum with financial and ecological stability in this turbulent time and unknown future. All this is new. It might be mad, but do watch this space because I'm gonna make it happen. Thank you.